The trick is not to let it. I'm just going to try to get in here and really stained. I'm going to clean that off real quick. I don't know how much has gotten in there. Hopefully not a whole lot. This looks like the audio sync separator, the audio detector right here. It looks like the phase discriminator or ratio detector or whatever the heck they call this thing in this particular model. Let's give it another shout here, or toot. Look at all that funk coming out of it. I'm gonna have to open the door here so this fumes out here don't make me go Lady Gaga. Yeah, it's cleaned up really nice. Really nice. So there you go. We've got the IF strip and audio detector clean. I still got to clean this back here, make that look a little bit better. Just got to clean the side here. We got some cleaner runoff there, but I ain't gonna bore y'all with none of that. This looks pretty good. I'm gonna kind of leave it alone. Got to work on, decide what I'm gonna do with these controls. I may leave them alone. I'm going to probably just clean them dryly, not put any liquid around them, because all you got to do is get some of this cleaner in that carbon, and you've destroyed it. I'm going to wipe off the bell of this transformer just a little bit more. Once I get that, I'm going to turn it over. Matter of fact, I'm probably going to turn it over now and go in and give it a good spraying. Be done with that section part of it. So, let me put y'all down for just a second. I'll have both hands. Boy, that camera's looking off in the weirdest spot, isn't it? Here we go. I am going to pick it up very carefully. There's the underside of that bad boy, and I'm going to use $15 worth of spray. It ain't going to hurt this, because this stuff flashes real fast. Boy, does it clean. It ain't been this clean since it was new. Just to get any contaminants off here that I might have placed on here. Whew, definitely gonna have to open the door. Matter of fact, I'm gonna burn up, but I don't want this stuff circulating in my lungs and it's destroying my brain matter, what little bit I got left. But yeah, that cleaned it up rather nicely, and it'll flash and it'll dry off real quick. It'll dry. Try not to knock this thing, ain't very stable anymore. Wipe it down again on the top because I sprayed everything from the bottom up. Didn't have a lot of overspray. I think it's fine. I got to figure out what to do with this. I'm not sure. These cables are hard as like number 10 solid copper. Ain't sure what to do with that. Hang on. Got to have a PJ's coffee break. Not a sponsor. Still got some capacitors to change out. They're on a truck heading this way. They'll be here tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have time to work on it this weekend. I don't know. Hopefully. It's going to be fun because after I get that done, I get all the capacitors in here, get all that done, get the tuner and everything back on here, clean these controls. We're going to put the fly back in. That's going to be fun. So you're going to put the fly back in, get all the tubes back in and all that kind of mess. Then what we're going to do, I told y'all about this on the last segment, didn't I? I just use a high voltage tripler assembly that I'm never going to use. Yes, I sacrificed it to get a good anode lead with a good cup, because that's what we had, and that didn't look good to me. That thing is stiff as a board. Anyway, I'm about to burn up here. I think I've aired this place out enough. So I'm going to finish cleaning this up, and then I'm going to get that tuner cleaned up, put all this mess back together, clean that up, and move on.
Face. Look at that big frowny face right there.
Alright, I have went about as far as I'm going to cleaning the chassis of this thing.
Speed of it.
I decided not to mess with these wires here, or these cables, because they're so brittle, so hard. I'm afraid if I mess with them too much, it could damage them inside, and I would have to replace them. Don't really want to do that. Yes, it could be more, a little bit better, but I'm not going to push my luck with this old set. This set is like 70 years old. I don't want to rewire this set. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this tuner, which is not going to take a whole lot there. Clean that, and I'm going to clean this bracket a little bit. I'll give it a little bit more love. We'll put all that back together, get the tuner soldered back in. What else? Get all that done, then I'm going to check and clean these controls on the front. And I'm hoping that'll be it for cleaning.
Yeah, so I can't.
This transformer bell right here. I said I was going to take that apart, clean it a little more. I don't think I'm going to. I just really don't want to push my luck.
That's the right speed.
I've cleaned the back. I've cleaned the back as much as I want to, because it's got the decals and all the writing on it. If I screw with this too much, that will go away. So that's it. This has some kind of, it's still got some leopard spots on it. But unless I go in here and just scrub the daylights out of this, and you solve it and all this other mess could get in here, I'm not going to do that. It's fine like it is. You know, once I put this thing in a set, it's going to be good. When I die or whatever, somebody else can have it, and they're going to not give. Ain't nobody going to give a crap about it down in Louisiana. I'll tell you that right now. This will wind up, if my wife and kids and all I can do something with it, it's going to go in garbage cans. It's a black and white TV. It won't pick up digital, and nobody gives a crap. Somebody might pick it up that, you know, estate sale or something like that, and resell it, do like I do, which be glad, but this is a far cry from what it was when I started the same yesterday.
Performance of this is terrific.
And anywho, let me get that tuner cleaned and all that. Let's get this stupid thing back together so we can check those controls on it, clean those controls, and get ready for the new caps tomorrow. Alright, it didn't take too long. I'll show you something here. See that little pink stuff there? That's this. I tried not to obliterate it, but I went ahead and took a picture of this before I got a hold of it too much. And I hate that it went away, but I had to get that clean. I hate when I do that. I don't know how to recreate that unless I use some kind of stamps. But I wanted to show you a couple of things. I used I used my simple green. Bring that over here a second. Use my simple green in my cup right here, but also just there's my old wore out scouring pad that was just barely wet. I used that to scrub this thing down the best I could. And then once I did that, I wiped it down a little bit, and then I took Tech Spray isopropyl alcohol, 99.8% pure, not technical grade. Used my artist brush to wipe this whole top of that thing, and it's unbelievable how much that cleaned up. Cleaned up so much that I can read now the tube numbers printed on the or stamped on this chassis, or on this whatever you call it, body of this tuner. 6BQ7 and a 6J6. So unbelievable. The other thing that I noticed is where the twin lead here for the tuner was going into right here, and it had a bunch of tape around it, and I could tell it didn't look right. I don't think tape was a factory issue, but this connection here was just rotten going in there, so that's got to be reworked. So I got to take this tuner back apart, see if I can replace that. I'm just going to take this right here, cut it back, put it in here, and I'm going to put some heat shrink over it where it goes through this hole to help separate it and protect it. Once I get that done, then I'll put the tuner back in. And before that though, I'm going to clean this bracket up right here and go ahead and put it back on that chassis, and hopefully that'll be that. I'll bring you back. I think I'm going to pull a Shango type thing here. Just move the schematic here before it gets all covered in stuff it don't need to be covered in. I'll put this over here on my desk out of the way. Here's that newly re-cleaned tuner. I remember working in the TV shop years ago. There used to be a place when we had a tuner that would quit working or whatever and had some kind of problem with it. We would pull the tuner out and send it to a service company that would repair the tuners, clean them up, and send them back. But those things always come back all glossy and shiny and just smell funny. And I may have said this story before, but come to find out, this is what they used on it, WD-40. They just sprayed the whole thing inside out with WD-40. I'm seriously considering doing that with that tuner over there before I start putting it in there. It's not conductive. I'm just thinking about it. I may not, but just for old time's sake. Tuner sure cleaned up nice. Anyway, what I was talking about Shango, I'm going to pull a Shango here. I want to see, I'm just going to I'm just coating this bracket with simple green. I'm just going to let it sit a little while. I'm going to keep putting some on there from time to time. I'm just going to let it do its thing. Don't need to be getting this mess on my workbench. Yeah, I'm just going to let it do its thing and just see what it does. So let me I'll play with that a little, but I'm going to go ahead and work on the inside of that tuner, see if I can get that fixed so we can get that tuner oh, and the other thing I noticed, oh yes, right here is the IF out of the tuner right there, this right here. Look at that, it's all corroded right in here. It looks like crap. This is about as hard as a piece of spaghetti. And I was looking, I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me get you over here where we can get this so-called light. But look right there. Let me find a pointer. Look right here. See that? That is supposed to be this. I think this is broke. I noticed that before I even done any of this right here. Let's find out. Don't pull out. Oh, I know what that is. That's a solder lug. I got you. Alright, never mind. Well, alright, here we go. That's still soaking. I'm still giving it a little refresh every now and then. Still soaking. I'm still getting a little bit of refresh. Just letting it soak. Here's the tuner. This right here, where this was going through the chassis, this is against the resistor, and it's all green around it. So this old plastic is probably deteriorating to the point where it's corroding this wire. And I've seen this happen. This kind of old plastic just makes wire go green. So I'm going to pull that off, and I may take a piece of RG58 or something like that and pull the outer jacket off and use that as the conductor for that, and replace that. And may have to replace this wire too. So let me set you up there. So first thing I'm going to do is get my heat gun. Sorry I came away from the camera for a minute, but our grandson's in a daycare, and that baby is about 16 months old, and he's been bitten. The last 3 weeks he's been bitten 4 or 5 times. I'm just putting the heat gun on here to soften that up a little bit. If I can make this move. It's something, I don't know, it's something hard right there. I don't know what that is. Might be a capacitor in there. Something's in there. I gotta be careful with that. I want to replace this. I don't trust this no further than I can throw it. So I'm just going to clip both sides of it. Peel this apart. Something's in there. I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's moving. Man, I don't want to tug this too much. It actually needs to go this way. I don't know if it's a resistor, coil, thermonuclear device. I don't know what it is. Could be just a plain old carbon resistor. I don't know. So let me pull that off the tuner. See if we can get this off relatively easy. Turn you around a little bit so I can see what's going on. Let's see here. My ugly face. Can't tell what's in there. I guess I could look on the schematic and say, oh, hey, what's this? Let's see. Whatever it is dark. Wouldn't think it'd be an inductor. See if I can get some more of this off of there. Move that down a little bit. There we go. You won't see my stupid face. I don't even want to see it anymore. Getting really close to deer season here in Louisiana. Oh, there we go. I got it out. It's something. I don't know what it is, but it's something. Is it an inductor, maybe? That's odd. Why would you have an inductor in there? Like I said, I guess I could have looked on the schematic. See if we can clean it off. I really don't know. Let's see if it's got any continuity. Let's see, give me a second here. Let me get my meter set up. Change the probe, and I'll turn you around. Well, can find something in this mess. Alright, I'm just going to hook this up and then we'll look at it together. Mr. Carlson says, we're going to look at this together. Well, I ain't going and picking curtains with you. Alright, here we go. Meter is right now is on volts. You'll be happy to know it's not generating voltage. Let's put it on K ohm. Measuring 3.8 ohms. Still don't know what that is. Is it a resistor? Is it a capacitor? Is it a coil? Is it a dilithium crystal? Just don't know. See what the big schematic said. Let's see, where's the schematic? If I was a schematic, where would I live? Got these gloves on. I can't half feel what the hell I'm doing. Here we go. Here we go. Here's the tuner. Alright, so the mixer comes out 120 microfarad, 120 picofarad. Right there, comes down to a coil and a cap here. This is the tunable coil. Yeah. That's a good one. Now, however, this Howard W. Sims does not match 100% with what's actually in this set. It's slightly off, even though that's what I'm all my. So let's look up Dumont and let's look up this one right here. Get up here to 164. Can't do anything when they pop up these stupid little banners like, hey, you want to tell us how you feel? You really don't want to know how I feel. Don't pop up unless I ask you to. Oh, here we go. 164, 165. There we go. Alright, let's figure out how to zoom this. Hello. Right there. Well, there's L110 right there. Y'all can see that? L110. And then C110 looks like. And then to L201, C202, and B202. Come over here to C115 tuner output. Well, if it's a capacitor, it's bad. 120 picofarad. So, but you see it, 2.9 ohms. So let me open this, let me get my hands off of this. Let me cut the camera off. I got to do a couple of things. And let me clean that where I can have both hands of my attention, and then we'll figure it out what it is. We'll come back. All right. A little discrepancy, but you know what? I'm going to go with what my eyes see and not what the schematic tells me. But I got to looking at this closer. I want to try to zoom in. This is it's a coil. It is a freaking inductor. So, if you will permit me, we've got the big old LC103 involved in it now. I don't know if you have to calibrate this thing or not. Let's see what it says. Inductor value right here. 3.96 microhenries. Interesting. Says it's open. That's good to know. Let's I want to see if lead zero. I don't know if you're supposed to calibrate this when you're doing inductors or not. Sorry. I have to do this one-handed, so here we go. Doing the lead is short, okay. Go back over here. Get that over here out of the way. Do another inductor value. 3.15 microhenries. Okay. So now you know. The schematic. Get my glasses on. It's an invariable inductor here, Li8, and here is a 120 picofarad or microfarad capacitor C18, and it comes down right here to another coil. So this line right here, it doesn't show anything. Sure didn't. And then right here, L110 is another variable coil, and here is a red wire. Yeah. Goes here. There is no mention of that inductor nowhere in this, unless I got the wrong one. Let's see, make sure I ain't got the wrong one. Nope, I got the right one. Alright, well, I'm going to duplicate what they have on here, and we'll get rid of this thing. I think I might just use see how green that is on the inside there? I'm going to clean that up a little bit more and put all this stuff back together, and let's put this thing back in the TV and let's get on with this. But first, let's have a look at this. Been sitting here for a while, just soaking. I think it's soaked about long enough, so let's get another towel or shaky can. Woohoo! Of course, I'm doing this one-handed. Wipe it off. Well, it's been soaking for quite a while. As you see, it's got quite a bit of goo, quite a bit of crap. But look, that's what it did. So it works great on silver and all that kind of stuff, but it didn't get this pitting off. So I'm going to give it the treatment. And that's not even worth watching. Let me do the treatment here, put it aside and let it sit, and then we'll put that inductor back in here and some heat shrink or something there. Probably just put heat shrink. I don't see where it affect nothing. It only goes about this far. And surely this mess here that it had on here, wherever it went, that tubing that was on there, you know, that was surely that was not any worse or better than the heat shrink. Anyway, let me do this, do that, put it all back together. We'll have another look at it, and then we'll do some we'll look at some of these controls. At least that's the plan. All right, little bench time here. Text messages galore, so I want to clean this up. I gotta get my soldering iron out here, move a few things around, try not to knock it around here. Let's see, let's clean this post off here. I tell you, I got a new roll of solder, brand new roll of Kester 6040 062. Let's clean this off. Alright, got that cleaned off. So I need to get inside here. Let's see, right here. I'm going to raise you up just ever so slightly. There we go. Let's fix this twin lead where it comes into the tuner. Lord, hope I don't have to. I'm going to use a very delicate piece of tool, like a knife, to lay the tuner on his butt for a minute. Hope I ain't got to pull that drum back out. To get this apart, by the way, this whole piece, bottom piece right here, pops off. And let me show you. Yeah, wait a minute, it's on there. Right here's two little indentals right here. And basically all you do, put a screwdriver or what pointing device of your choice, you just pry up on it, and it's held, the dimples are held in with these little screw holes right here. Anyway, the whole thing just pops off. Got a couple little claws on the back of it there. See them? Oops, sorry about that. Goes into these slots right here. That's all there is to it. So yes, we got to get to this side, which luckily this cover just slides off. Boom. So where you at? Our destination is right in there, which is good. Yeah, it's pretty rough looking. So let me change it around a little bit. I'm going to get me a piece of heat solder wick. Clean all that solder out of here. Trying to be delicate with these tuners, because you really don't want to screw it around inside a tuner, because all this stuff has a purpose and a position. It takes some kind of a magical guru to figure this stuff out. Okay, that one goes there. Pin 2. There we go. Got that out. Here's a piece of this mess. Yeah, decomposing, of course. Let me clean that out with a little bit of solder wick. Then we'll prep the new twin lead, or the existing old twin lead, or whatever the heck it is. Probably about 40 years old too, but as long as those solder stay stable, we'll be good. Alright, so that's pretty rotten. Let me get a piece of heat shrink. Well, the old adage is beggars can't be choosers. I'm going to use some yellow heat shrink because that's what I have. Let me get a pair of scissors. Why didn't y'all tell me the scissors was over here instead of where they belong? Clean that up real quick. Make it all nice and pretty. We'll kind of divide this in half. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep this right here. And the way that I'm going to do this, can y'all see? I'm going to split this down right beside this just a little bit. Make me a little right here to where I can have two independent. This twin lead will be exposed. Should go in and just deviate just a little bit. So, and what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to use a pair of dikes or diagonal cutters, and I'm just going to cut a little bit like that. Do that right there. And I'm going to reach in here. Do that. Now we're going to get wire stripper. The easiest thing to do. Get a pair of wire strippers. I'm going to take just a little bit off. Not much. This happens to be Belden. I don't think I've ever seen Belden twin lead. Maybe I did when I was back in the TV days, 40-something years ago. Now the next question is this stuff going to tin? I want to tin this with the soldering iron, but will it tin? Or will it just turn to mush and melt and make a big mess? Who knows? Here we go. Looks bright. Well, I got that light shining in my face. Yeah, I think it tinned. Yeah, tinned rather well. Just a little bit. Let's get these here big old scissors out. Now I'm going to attempt to put this back in here. Oh, I see. I noticed that. Huh. I have to put the heat shrink on there. I have to put the heat shrink on before we put this in there. So let me find my heat shrink shrinking device. You know, we put some yellow heat shrink on there so it'll tell all them incoming channels, all them VHF channels that come in and slow down and be careful because the set's old. There's an indentation in there that I'm going to have to move. I don't know if you can see it or not. Well, the twin lead goes in. There's a little indentation right there that you can see it right there. You can see it right there. I got to overcome that. So, trying to be careful of this tuner, but I'm going to have to bend that out a little bit. Not sure I'm going to put it back in. I just really don't want to break this thing. That would be kind of, oh my gosh, what happened? You in frame? Yeah. Scares me to death when I have to do stuff like this. I just needed it back just a little. Just trying to push it up in there. Let me show you what I'm trying to do. Shaky cam time. Right there. Let me get my pointer of my pocket knife. This is the twin lead coming in, as you can probably figure out. It's right underneath this 15K, and one half to go to right here. Here's the twin lead. Here's that little indentation right here that I had to pry away a little bit. So one piece of twin lead goes here, one piece goes here. I got to solder that, and this thing should be good to go. And I'll put it all back together. So that's what I got to do. And without me hooking up the tripod and all this mess, you ain't gonna be able to see this. So how about I just pause y'all for a minute. Let me solder that in there, so I ain't got to worry about being in frame, and then I'll put this all back together. Then I'll put it back in the set, and I'll show you how I did it, or what it looks like. How about that? All right, before I put this tuner back together, I'll show you the handiwork. Get my little pocket knife. Here's one twin lead here, and I'm going to clean that off a little bit. There we go. There's one right here, there's the other one, and there is the heat shrink to protect it. There's that little indentation. I pried it back just enough. This thing has still got a firm hole on it. It ain't going anywhere, and it looks a hell of a lot better than that black tape and crap that was on here a while ago. This thing was all bare metal and all that. That's what was in there. Anyway, made another improvement. Maybe this TV set will appreciate it and come to life and stay working. Who knows? All right, let me do the other half and put this thing back in the TV. All right, before I put it back in the TV set, this is what I got afterwards right here. I used a clear piece of 3M heat shrink tubing. This box, you don't know how much this cost. I used the good stuff. Anyway, I used a piece of clear because that more closely resembled what was in here. I mean, who knows? This might have been clear when it was new. So I got that right there. And I didn't fully shrink it down either. I kind of left it. I shrunk this down around the connector just to keep it secure going anywhere. But I just left a little space here to move it around. So anyway, this goes back in the set now, I promise. And I'll bring you back in a few minutes. Unless something destroys itself. Alright, finally. Got this all done. I wish I'd have put a piece of heat shrink in there. I don't like that. But I'm not taking it back out. But everything's back in its place. I probably should have replaced these two resistors, but they're fine. They're fine. For some reason or other, they have you have either one or two of these things. I don't know why. I didn't solder that because this is a, I think this is the 260 volts here. And that goes from here to here. That was that burnt resistor that we saw the other day. But anyway, those resistors will be in tomorrow. I'll put those in when I get to that part, and that'll be completed. All this is done. This is the IF output coming through here, that white heat shrink or clear heat shrink that we put on there, going back to this first input coil here. So all that's done. So let me get on tripod for a second. Move the old light right here, and let's get you down here where we can see what's going on with the rest of it. Here is the there's the tuner. I mean, not the tuner, but the twin lead going into it right there. I think it looks pretty good considering. Here is it's calling for a 6BQ7, and that's what I have, a 6BQ7. This is one of the tubes that was bad, and I think this is the tube that burnt that resistor up inside there, because that tube was just super leaky. And then here is the 6J6. I forgot to clean that. I'm going to have to clean that tube. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in right now so I can keep track of it. And I'll repair this. I got to put the other ends on this right here, but I'll repair that when we get to that point. So here it is. The U-tuner is done. Chassis is clean as it's going to get. Yep, I could have spent a lot more time on this, but I've explained my point of view on this. It's 1,000 times better than what it was. Completely clean. Now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to clean these controls and check these controls. So, and I think I'll call it a day because I got about a little over 40 minutes before my better half gets here. So let me get this chassis. Oh, and after we get all that done, get the caps done whenever I get to it, then I think I said we'll put the fly back in, put the shield back on it, put all that back together. Hell, it'll be time to plug it in then. So anyway, let me get all this set up where I need it. Can't really tell the screen, but basically I got the shot set up. You can look at the ohmmeter right here, and I can see it, you can see it. And I'm just going to put the ohmmeter on these controls here, and I'm going to test the controls for functionality. I'm not really worried about what the resistance should be. I just want to see them change smoothly, or at all. And I just have a regular pair of clip leads on my trusty little triplet 630 PL right here. So let's go ahead and just go to 1,000 ohms right now. Short the leads. And then I guess we'll go to the volume control. So I'm just going to go from ground to the high side. And looks like a 470 ohm resistor on here. Let's see what it says here. Let me zero that again. Not sure what that is actually. Well, it's showing about 200 ohms. Yeah, that controls. It's dirty. I mean, we got out. Didn't even get out of the chute good, did we? Hang on a second. OCD kicking in again. That stupid piece of tape on that's about really bugging me. Alright, here we go. I know you ain't supposed to do this. Well, whatever it is, this is the volume control. Point you down a little bit. How about that? There you go. Oh, let me guess, a glare. There, no glare. Now you can see the volume meter. So, did I calibrate this? Let's see. Yep. So I'm going from one end of the control to the other. Kind of odd how it's behaving. Oh, it's wired as a rheostat. Oh, okay. Seems to be pretty stable. Okay, that's good. I like the idea of that. Didn't expect it to be a rheostat though. Measuring the ground on the second control. I think one of them is, I don't know what one of them is. Inner and an outer. So I guess this is volume control. I don't know what the other one was. Anyway, there's ground. So let's go over here to this. and I don't see any resistance. Had to go up to 100K. Like I said, I don't know the value. Going over here to the center. Let's see, 10 times 100 is 1,000, so that would make it a 1 meg control. So let's change it. Nothing there. This must be the volume control. Alright, so volume control is all the way down to 0, turning it. Yeah, I've seen worse. Let's give it a little toot. Cleaner. Yeah, that's not bad. Good, that's one. Don't know what this other one is, but let's check it too. Going up here to this guy. It measures 500,000. And then we're just going to measure the center here. Try not to get it shorted. I don't know what else is it. Yeah, it's a little noisy. You see that? Give it a little adjust there. That's a lot cleaner. That's good. Let's see how well the other side measures. When this one goes low, this one should be high. So, yep, another good control. Alright, now here's another one here. Don't know what it is. This is hooked up as a rheostat. Rheostat is when two of the 3 pins are connected together. So I can't do that. Here's 3 pins, 2 of them are connected together, so you got one here and the other 2 are tied together. That's a rheostat. When they're not tied together, they're a potentiometer. Anyway, whatever. Adjusting it, the elbow. You see it's pretty noisy too. Let's give it a little toot. I'm really surprised. If I open it all the way open, it's like it's saying it's like a 2 meg. I mean 20 times 100K, so that's 2 meg. That does seem to smooth it out. So we'll just kind of leave it. It's 2 meg, so we'll leave it about 500,000. How about that? Well, that's good. Let's move on up to this next one up here, and it's another rheostat, one up on the ground. Goes to an orange wire, and something's been done to that because the orange wire has been soldered off of that and put back on. So let's see what it does. Yeah, it's going all over the place. It's kind of crazy. Give it a toot. I love this stuff. I didn't get the other one, but I got to go to my electrical supply house and get that, or either that or Home Depot. And I need to do that tomorrow. Yeah, that one's smoothed out too. Look at there. Very nice. Now we're going to a wire wound control. I have no idea what it is. It's either going to be, it's going to be a low resistance. So let's see here. Let's see. The wiper will be all the way over. It's going to be, don't know what it is. Let's go down to R times 10. I love this triplet. Okay, well, it seems to be bigger than that, so let's go to R times 1000 and recalibrate it, which is good. Alright, so it's in here as 1,000, so it's a 5,000 ohm control. And it's not the best in the world, but it just needs extras. It's a wire wound. I mean, usually, unless it's just completely bad and corroded, usually just moving them back and forth a few times. So we're going to set it about midway, okay? Alright, that's good. So far so good. I am really pleased so far. Another rheostat up here. I don't know what his purpose in life is other than to pester me. Let's see. See what its max is out at. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's flaky too. Look at there. Yank, 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 yank. Let's give it a 2. I'm just really surprised. The low side's kind of kind of iffy. Let's give it another. Let's just give it a bath. Yeah, it seems to be behaving okay. It's amazing, isn't it? Well, that was another thing that was bothering me. It was how well these controls were going to work. I'm going to put it about halfway through there too. Alright, one other thing I hadn't checked yet, and I think it's good, but we're going to check the function of the on-off switch itself. So let's go to R times 1. Set it up. Zero the meter out, in other words. And this stuff fun. I saw a radio and TV phono nut on YouTube at a 3-hour video. Okay, it's off, on, off, on. See how the switch is flaky when I adjust it? That's a problem. I'm going to have to take that switch apart. I don't think I can get into it to clean it. But yeah, that's... Yeah. You see how it's fluctuating? That's not good for a switch to do. So I'm going to have to fix that. Of all these controls on the front, the on-off switch is iffy. When you got that high resistance like that right there, that switch will burn itself out. Alright, so I got one other control to do on the back. So if you want to, just take my word for it. You just watch the meter. I'll do the rest. It's another rheostat, looks like. I think this is the... I forgot what this was. This might be a horizontal hole. Let's go up. I don't know what it is. Not getting the schematic out. It's a relatively low value resistor. So that's a... Go down to R times 1000. There we go. Wow. That was pretty smooth. They're gonna give a little toot anyway. There you go. All the controls are working on this set. They are smooth, they seem to work, they're happy. The only thing that I got to do is clean that volume, that on-off switch right there. That's be another day. About to run out of time. That's it for today, guys. I'll see you in the next segment. Y'all have a great one. Alright. Just straight up 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm about to have to shut it all down and go get ready for my wife and grandson to come home, and that'll be it for me tonight. But I wanted to show y'all real quick. I got all the tube shields back in place. This one was a little rough, but I cleaned it up, especially right down here where they made the connection. Cleaned that up. This one was clean, good and clean. Clean this one, clean this one. All the tubes are in it that needs to be in it, other than the horizontal output and the rectifier and of course the pitch tube. All the controls and everything checked good. I just need to clean the on-off switch over here, and I'll try to get that. I'll get to that maybe tomorrow. I don't know yet. But it's ready to go. The next phase is putting the rest of the capacitors in here, and then putting the fly back in here, putting the cage back together, getting all that done. Make a few checks on here, make sure everything is where it's supposed to be, and I guess we'll put it back under power. That's it. See you on the next, I had to zoom in a little bit. See you on the next segment. Bye. Well, it's day 8003 on this here Dumont restoration. And of course, you know, Mouser and UPS, it just like, wasn't too long ago I could pick up, you know, order whatever I needed from Mouser. You know, they're over there in right there around Dallas, and I'd order it before 3 o'clock, you know, and I'd get it the next day. Well, ever since the great COVID hit and all the stupidity that ensued, I ordered this last Thursday, and today is Monday. It took them, not Thursday, Wednesday. It took them from Wednesday to today for this stupid order to come in. Now this is UPS. I don't know. I'm thinking it's UPS because they're about stupid too nowadays. But anyway, got a whole pile of parts here. Enough of them. I got the 820K resistor, which goes right there. That's for the horizontal hold. And then I got various capacitors, film capacitors of all kinds. Let's see, I think that's electrolytics. Yes. Resistors, electrolytics, film capacitors. There's another electrolytic, film capacitor, electrolytics, resistor, another electrolytic, film capacitor, electrolytic, resistor, electrolytic, film cap, electrolytic, resistor. Good Lord, I don't remember changing all those. Another electrolytic, and another resistor. Woo! Lordy, I got a lot of crap to do. So I'm going to start over here in this densely packed section here and change all that mess out. And let's see, and then I'll move over here and change this resistor out, this resistor out. And we'll come up here and replace the ones that came out of this section right here that were all burnt to heck and back. Then I'll start moving on back on the capacitors again. I ordered a couple more resistors. I don't even know what they're for. I got them marked. But start changing these two electrolytics out, and this guy right here. So I got several of them I've got to change out. Oh, and this one here too. I got to change that paper cap out too. So I keep forgetting to order the safety caps for where the power line comes, the AC power comes in. I keep forgetting to order those. So of course I know if I order from Mouser, it'll take 3 damn weeks to come in. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to bore you with the details. I'm just going to get busy. It's already 2:15 in the afternoon, so I got work to do. I didn't get to come out here yesterday, so I got all that to do. So let me get cracking, as they say. I think this video is going to be like 15 hours long. I put a lot of time into this old Dumont. But we had a minor disaster happen here. Let me get my pointer here because I'm never prepared for these videos. Anyway, here is the horizontal output section right here. The horizontal output tube socket right here. And this is, to get to that section, I had to pull these 3 coils. They're on a little mounting bracket here. But I had to pull them loose and kind of pull them out of the way. Hang on a second. There we go. Pull them out of the way so I could get to it. Anyway, in the midst of wanting to check these two 15Ks, which really looks like crap. This is the screen grid right here, the screen grid pin that just pulled out of the socket right there. Yep, it just went boop. Never had that happen before on one of these things. But these resistors are reading about 2K high each. And being the screen grid here, since I got this open, it's going to be a pain in the you-know-what, but I'm going to go ahead and order these two resistors. They're 15K 2 watts. Also, this capacitor I already have, but let's see, this is a 68 ohm resistor right here. That is a grid resistor right here coming over here, and I think this is just an interconnect, and then a 470K to ground right there. So, and then here is a coupling capacitor from the horizontal driver. It's a 0.005 microfarad at 600 volts. So this is going to be replaced anyway. I have that capacitor and I have this capacitor. So I'm going to be ordering, I'm going to go ahead and order a couple of 15Ks here, 2 watts. I'm going to order a 68K, 470K. I already have this capacitor, and I think this resistor here is out. So I'm going to double check all these resistors, because this is a very critical circuit, the horizontal oscillator section right here, and I'm going to take a closer look at that to make sure all of that's right while I have this stupid thing open. And I'm going to also I've got to replace the socket. However, as irony would have it, look what I found in my junk box. Yeah, if you think about it a little bit, you realize what that came off of. Same exact socket from a Dumont oscilloscope. Same thing. So I get to do a socketectomy. Is that right? So I'm going to have to take some pictures, and I'm going to just cut off. I'm just basically going to undo these leads here, take some pictures, undo these leads right here, cut that capacitor right there. All of this is coming out otherwise, every bit of it. So I'm going to do all that, but I'm not going to do that right now because I don't have the parts. I'll do that later. So I'm just going to skip this stage and go on up and start changing caps up here. This one here, that one there, that one there, and then the resistors that need to be changed here and there. Get all that done and try to get that one done. So I'm going to go ahead and do all that, and then I'll order the parts for that, and we'll go from there. Well, it's day whatever of whatever, working on this crazy Dumont over here. Working on getting a horizontal output tube socket ready for this thing to transplant. So that's it right there. So got it on the operating table. I got the donor right here. Just getting it all clean. Get it all purty. Getting all the old wire and stuff off of it. And all the leads, I guess I should say. My favorite method for doing this old stuff is just get it good and hot and knock the snot out of it. Trick is to that is don't hit it too hard. Yeah, my LC103's got a little problem. My little resolver, capacitor, inductor analyzer, my little Syncor, got a little bit of a problem. I don't know if it's something I caused or what, but I've been noticing as I do leakage test how the thing operates kind of erratically. And finally, at just anything over 50 volts, it don't work right at all. And wouldn't probably be hard to fix. However, there is no documentation on this thing anywhere. I've had it apart very carefully because I don't want to tear it up, because it does do everything but leakage test over 50 volts. But I could see where the high voltage is generated. I've kind of figured that out, and I've pretty much narrowed it down to the high voltage board. But there's a big relay in there that switches between, it splits between 50 volts and below, and then 50 volts above. I guess it's 49 volts and below, and then 50 volts and above is where the relay crosses the line. So I found looks to me like a switching power supply in there that generates that voltage. Well, that came out all at one piece. And the generator, it's got so like I put it on the 100 volt scale with a 100 volt range and look at it, the signal of the power supply right there at the switching transistor. It gets well, not the switching transistor, but where it feeds the rectifiers. I get full scale on the oscilloscope in a times 10 probe. So that would have been, see, I'd be in 51, 2, 3, that'd be almost 500 volts. So the voltage, I would think, is getting out of there. It's being generated, but I don't know where it's going. There was a couple of high voltage rectifiers in there that looks like they're doing their job. There it is. One clean 8-pin octal socket. Ready for transplant. So let me get rid of this right here. Let me get set up for that, and we'll pull that old socket out. Be right back. Alright, here is the horizontal output socket that we're going to change out. That little dude right there. So I got to take a couple of pictures of it first. Let me get my screwdriver here. Got some take some pictures of it, but there's a lead here which I think is probably filament. No, it's not filament. I don't remember what that is. Anyway, we're going to disconnect this lead right here, and then this lead here, which that is probably filament, if I had to guess. So this lead here, okay? And then we're going to cut this capacitor here, and we gotta pull that ground loose right there. Then we'll drill these rivets out right here. This whole socket should just pull out. And I'm going to use screws and lock washers and nuts to put the new one back in. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. Trying to figure out how I can set you guys up to see that, if y'all want to see that. So when I started this video, I decided I was going to let y'all watch that incredible feat of engineering. So let me get you set up on the tripod, and I'm probably going to put you kind of high looking down so I can be here. So I'll bring you back when I get everything set up. Alright guys, this is going to be one of those instances where you can't have your cake and eat it. What I mean by that is I have got this much room to work. So I've got you zoomed in rather tight. I'm going to be working in close proximity. My hands are going to get in the way a little bit. I can widen you out just a little bit. So anyway, let's get started, okay? I got my soldering iron ready to roll. You're rolling, everybody's rolling. The first thing we're going to do is take off this lead right here. Oh, I got to take pictures. Sorry, forgot all about that. I get so excited sometimes working on stuff, forget to do the important stuff. I always take pictures and photograph, not photographs, but draw stuff. You'll have a reference how to put all this crap back together. There. Now we can proceed with the mayhem. Here we go. Let's see. this right here. Soldering iron out here where I get to it. And that promptly stopped my soldering iron up. I mean my desoldering bulb up. Didn't say you wasn't going to have myself in the view a little bit. Yeah, that one broke too. This thing's brittle, 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 brittle. What is it, 70 years old? Guess that'd be brittle too. I'm not too far from it. They just don't want to come out. There we go. Got some of it. That's a screen grid. That was the screen grid portion. Let's see if I can get this one out now. Is it zoomed in too much? This has got to be filament. I doubt we're going to be able to get that sucker out intact. We'll try. Wanted to. Premature, you know what. Time for the solder wick. Well, this is tight. This is tight, 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 tight. There. See it twisting the wire. Trying to figure out which way. There we go. Got that one intact. Awesome. Alright. So I got the grid unhooked, got the screen grid unhooked.